In general, no later than 180 days after the date of the enactment of this act, and annually thereafter for 5 years, the Secretary of State, in consultation with the heads of other relevant federal departments and agencies as appropriate, shall submit to the appropriate congressional committees a report on the strategy and implementation plan required by subsection A and related efforts to counter the malign influence and activities of the Russian Federation and its proxies in Africa. 2 elements. The report required by paragraph 1 shall include the following. A, an assessment of the scope and nature of the Russian Federation's malign influence and activities and related diplomatic, economic, and security priorities and strategic objectives of such engagement in Africa, including, yes?
Go on. No.
Including influence and activities that involve Russian proxies, such as Russian oligarchs, Russian-funded private military contractors, and other individuals and entities directly or indirectly employed by or financially or politically associated with Russia and its officials who are involved in or aid activities to, among other things, 1, manipulate African governments and their policies. Manipulate African governments and their policies. Before African countries can get a loan from the World Bank and IMF, they have to sign on conditionalities.
Yes.
How more can anyone in the world manipulate African government policies?
I mean, the irony that they are writing a bill to manipulate African countries and their policies while putting that in it is just, it's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
No, we have to tell it like it is. And I'm glad that we picked this topic for today's show, now that we're going to the details. So I hope you're making notes. So let me continue.
Yes.
As well as the public opinions and voting preferences. Whoa, let me read this entire section again. 1, manipulate African governments and their policies, as well as the public opinions and voting preferences of African populations and diaspora groups.
Yes.
This is where you come in too, Sister Nduku.
Yes.
And you come in too, Adesoji. So you're actually directly impacted by this, so now, your malign activities are going to be put
I should send a thank you note to the U.S. government for representing me.
Your malign activities are going to put into check. I'd been wondering how to control you two guys. Now I see it. It's right there.
Well, you've got the template there.
You have Representative Greg Meeks looking out for you.
You've got the template there.
Yeah.
I mean, when he says malign, go on. When he says manipulate African governments and their policies, what policies? As if the policies are not already manipulated.
Well, you show me, and that's the reason why in his lifetime, not in his lifetime, but when he was president of Tanzania, Tanzania never signed a deal with the IMF.
Yeah.
You read it?
Yes.
It was only after he retired as president. Thomas Sankara never signed a deal with the IMF.
Or the World Bank.
It was only after he got killed. Now you see the correlation too, right?
Yes.
That Burkina signed a bill. But